Hello, and thank you for joining me on this journey. Tonight, we will slowly drift into the softly glowing story of humanity, discovering the magic of fermentation. Imagine flickering torches casting warm amber light across quiet villages, while early humans notice the subtle sweetness of overripe fruits transforming into something new. Picture the first sips of beer in Mesopotamia, the sacred wines poured during ceremonies in Egypt, and the careful distillations in medieval alchemy. Let yourself feel the textures of wooden barrels, the faint aroma of fermenting grains, and the delicate clinking of glass vessels. Allow your mind to wander through centuries of tradition, medicine, and art, tracing the quiet ways spirits have touched our societies, shaped rituals, and inspired creativity. If you enjoy these relaxing moments, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. But for now, just breathe. Let your body relax, release any tension, and allow your mind to drift. Let's begin. In the shadowed hollows of prehistoric villages, where smoke from simple hearths drifted lazily into the open air, a subtle magic was unfolding. Ripe fruits left to rest in baskets warmed by the sun began to swell, their sugars awakening in slow, fragrant transformations. Honey, golden and viscous, dripped from combs, pooling in shallow bowls, its aroma thick and alluring. Grains, soaked and softened by water, festered gently, their surfaces trembling with unseen life. No human hand guided these changes with precision. They were stumbled upon, glimpsed in moments of curiosity, an alchemy of nature observed and cherished. These early encounters with fermentation were as accidental as they were profound. A bridge between the human and the chemical worlds, a quiet invitation into experimentation. The first awareness of bubbling liquids sparked fascination. Early humans noted that fruits left in hollowed stones or woven baskets would emit sweet vapors, that the touch of a sticky, fermenting mass could warm the hands and stir the mind. The yeast, invisible yet potent, labored tirelessly, converting sugar into alcohol, releasing scents that teased the senses and hinted at transformation. Across scattered settlements and rocky caves, these discoveries became more than nourishment. They became ritual, pleasure, and an early communion with forces they could not name. Drinking such elixirs offered warmth and a fleeting lightness of spirit, a gentle intoxication that inspired stories, gestures, and perhaps even the first chants or songs of celebration. In observing these natural processes, humans began to experiment. They transferred liquid from one container to another, storing it in sunlit hollows or beneath leaves, learning that time could shape taste and potency. The initial fear of spoilage gave way to wonder at what seemed a gift from the unseen world, a fluid that danced with life, yet could be held in a vessel, its character changing with each day. This intimate, tactile knowledge laid the foundations for culinary creativity, bridging instinct and insight. The first brewers were not scientists, but observers of nature's quiet intricacies, learning to coax magic from ordinary materials. The chemistry of fermentation was an invisible marvel. Yeast, tiny and persistent, consumed sugar, exhaling alcohol and carbon dioxide in a rhythm unseen yet unmistakable in effect. The transformation was slow, measured in hours and days rather than moments, allowing humans to witness change without understanding its cause. But they understood consequence. A sweet fruit becomes a fragrant drink. a sticky grain mixture becomes nourishing and spirited. Each experiment, each accidental sip, informed intuition, shaping early knowledge of preservation, flavor, and the capacity of humans to manipulate their environment. Fermentation became a laboratory, as open as a meadow and as intimate as the palm of a hand. Across the world, in caves echoing with the low hum of wind and footsteps, or along riverbanks where water lapped gently against smooth stones, fermented beverages began to anchor human imagination. They became companions to gatherings, punctuating meals and ceremonies with warmth and curiosity. Villagers might lift a crude cup of fermented honey, watching the sun flicker on its surface, sensing the subtle euphoria that seemed to shimmer from liquid to body. In these moments, alcohol was more than drink. It was a storyteller, a chemical whisperer linking matter and mind, body and spirit. Even in these earliest times, the transformative power of alcohol suggested possibility. It connected humans to the cycles of life, to the fermentation of the earth itself, where decay and renewal were inseparable. Honey, grain, fruit, all were media through which nature revealed its hidden artistry, and humans, attentive and experimental, became partners in that unfolding story. The accidental magic of fermentation was the first step toward a lifelong fascination, an engagement with the unseen forces that shape taste, experience, and understanding. In this nascent alchemy, every bubble rising through a fermenting liquid, every fragrant note that drifted into the nose was an invitation to observe, to taste, to reflect, and to imagine. Through patient attention, the earliest humans glimpsed a power both intimate and cosmic, a connection to the living chemistry around them. Fermentation was not merely sustenance. It was an awakening, a gentle but profound shaping of human culture and curiosity, laying the groundwork for the rich interplay of food, drink, and spirit that would ripple across millennia. In these simple transformations, civilization itself began to stir, quietly, inexorably, toward discovery. Beneath the blazing sun of the Fertile Crescent, fields of barley and emmer wheat stretched toward the horizon, their golden heads swaying in the breeze as if echoing an ancient rhythm of life. Here, in Mesopotamia, humans began to harness fermentation with intention. Sumerian brewers operating in the shadow of mud brick ziggurats filled large ceramic vessels with water and grain, watching as the mixture transformed over days into thick, nourishing beer. Cuneiform tablets, etched with meticulous instructions and lists of ingredients, reveal that brewing was more than sustenance. It was a codified art, a vital component of social, spiritual, and economic life. Beer offered nourishment, hydration, and warmth, its humble golden hue a symbol of shared labor and communal care. Each cup carried knowledge, a testament to observation and the subtle guidance of natural chemistry. Along the Nile, a different story unfolded. Egyptian vintners cultivated vineyards on sun-drenched terraces, tending grapevines that promised not only food, but exaltation. Grapes were harvested with care, their skins crushed gently underfoot or with simple presses, releasing juices that fermented into rich amber wines. These wines flowed through temples and royal courts, accompanying feasts and sacred rituals alike. They were more than indulgence. They were vessels of communication with the divine. Pharaohs poured offerings from gilded cups, while priests and priestesses inscribed blessings and prayers into papyri that chronicled ceremonial libations. In Egypt, alcohol bridged the earthly and the spiritual, marking both passage and reverence, reflecting a civilization attuned to symbolism and rhythm. Trade routes carried these beverages beyond their homelands, transforming them into instruments of connection. Sumerian beer traveled along the Tigris and Euphrates, linking villages and towns, while Egyptian wine found its way to distant ports, where merchants valued both taste and prestige. Brewing and winemaking were entwined with economy as much as with celebration. Laborers, brewers, and farmers became participants in a network where skill and observation translated into tangible wealth and societal standing. Storage jars, amphorae, and vessels marked with symbols and stamps allowed transport over miles of desert and river, revealing that fermented liquids were as practical as they were ceremonial. Medicine and ritual intersected with everyday consumption. Both Mesopotamians and Egyptians recognized the capacity of alcohol to soothe the body, preserve herbs, and carry potent remedies. Beer fortified workers in the fields. Wine accompanied healing mixtures in temples. Recipes mixed grains, fruits, honey, and herbs, demonstrating an early understanding of dosage and effect. Alcohol served as a solvent and preservative, a medium to extract the potency of plants and minerals, linking the practical concerns of health with spiritual and social practice. Each sip carried both sustenance and subtle instruction in the intimate chemistry of life. Labor itself became a ritualized form of devotion. In Sumer, the rhythmic pounding of grain and the gentle stirring of fermenting liquid were acts of attentiveness and respect, repeated across generations. In Egypt, tending vineyards required meticulous observation. The timing of irrigation, the selection of ripening grapes, the careful monitoring of fermentation in cool, shaded cellars. Humans learned to read the signs of nature, noticing subtle shifts in aroma, color, and texture. These skills informed both craft and culture, creating a feedback loop in which experience guided innovation, and innovation reinforced social and religious structures. Alcohol was a medium for skill, memory, and community. Beyond sustenance, fermented beverages shaped society in profound ways. Shared cups marked celebration, negotiation, and ritual. Hierarchies were both reinforced and humanized through the act of drinking together. Beer and wine were tokens of hospitality, symbols of generosity, and instruments of diplomacy. Across Mesopotamia and Egypt, they defined patterns of life, work, and worship, embedding themselves into the collective consciousness of civilizations. The flavors of barley, honey, and grape became intertwined with identity, memory, and aspiration, leaving traces that would ripple through the centuries. In the fertile landscapes where rivers brought abundance, humans and fermentation coalesced into a symphony of taste, labor, and observation. Every vessel, every carefully poured cup, bore witness to the ingenuity of early societies, revealing the subtle ways in which alcohol shaped thought, culture, and connection. It was not merely a drink, it was a thread weaving together land, labor, ritual, and human imagination, leaving an indelible mark on the history of civilization. From these ancient fields and temples, we begin to perceive alcohol as both sustenance and symbol, a mirror of human endeavor and the invisible chemistry that guided it. In temples where incense coiled in thin spirals of smoke, the pouring of fermented liquid became an act of reverence, linking the mortal to the divine. Across Mesopotamia, priests lifted clay vessels filled with beer, their hands steady as they offered libations to gods of grain and fertility. The liquid, golden and foamy, carried prayers in its aroma and flavor, a medium through which humans sought favor, protection, and guidance. These early rituals were not casual indulgences. They were deliberate, sacred gestures, repeated in cycles that marked seasons, harvests, and the rhythms of human life. Through the careful act of offering, alcohol became a bridge between the tangible world and the unseen, a symbol of devotion and the subtle alchemy of human intention. In Egypt, the ceremonial use of wine mirrored this intertwining of spirit and matter. Priests and priestesses measured amber liquids into ornate chalices, pouring them over altars and into ceremonial basins as part of daily rites and grand festivals. Wine was a language of symbolism. Its color evoked the sun, and its vitality, its aroma suggested the fertile earth, and its taste was considered a reflection of divine favor. Pharaohs were believed to participate vicariously in these sacred moments through the consumption of wine, partaking in the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Each sip connected participants to myth and memory, grounding spiritual belief in the sensory and tangible. In Greece, the cult of Dionysus elevated wine into ecstatic ritual, blurring the boundaries between worship, celebration, and theatrical spectacle. In the dim glow of torchlit groves or enclosed halls, participants shared wine in structured ceremonies that invoked frenzy, revelation, and communal identity. The intoxicating properties of fermented grapes were seen as gifts from the god himself, granting clarity and insight while loosening the strictures of ordinary perception. Through these rites, alcohol became both a tool and a symbol, shaping human understanding of ecstasy, transgression, and divine inspiration. It was not mere indulgence, but an orchestrated engagement with forces larger than the individual. Roman society inherited and adapted these ceremonial traditions, incorporating wine into public feasts, religious sacrifices, and commemorations of civic achievement. Wine flowed from amphorae into shallow bowls, accompanying hymns, chants, and recitations that honored gods and ancestors alike. The shared consumption of alcohol reinforced social cohesion, marked respect for authority, and provided a ritualized outlet for reflection, storytelling, and memory. The act of drinking became entwined with morality, ethics, and civic identity, illustrating the complex role fermented beverages held in shaping the structure of society and the communal psyche. Across these civilizations, alcohol also served as a narrative device. Myths, songs, and visual art frequently depicted divine interaction through the medium of fermented liquids, portraying gods offering cups to humans or humans, elevating vessels in supplication. In temple frescoes and carved stela, the imagery of wine and beer symbolized abundance, blessing, and connection, conveying ideas about order, hierarchy, and spiritual resonance. Human engagement with these drinks became inseparable from cultural expression, linking chemistry, ritual, and imagination in ways that shaped artistic and societal frameworks alike. The act of toasting, lifting a vessel in acknowledgement of shared devotion or celebration, echoed across lands and centuries, emphasizing the communal nature of fermented beverages. Alcohol carried a dual identity, tangible sustenance and metaphysical conduit, capable of nourishing the body while fostering connection to the unseen. From Mesopotamian ziggurats to Egyptian temples, from Greek groves to Roman forums, The human experience of fermentation was inseparable from ceremony, morality, and myth. In observing these sacred rituals, one perceives not only the practical mastery of fermentation, but the profound way in which it shaped thought, identity, and perception of the divine. Through careful cultivation, measurement, and timing, early societies learned that alcohol could convey intent and meaning, serving as both medium and message. The transformative properties of yeast and sugar became entwined with human imagination and belief, elevating simple beverages into symbols of faith, power, and connection. Sacred libations were more than offerings. They were lessons in observation, patience, and the invisible chemistry of life. In this way, fermented drinks bridged the tangible and intangible, binding people to the land, their communities, and the spiritual worlds that defined human existence. The legacy of these ceremonies endures in cultural memory, illustrating how alcohol became an enduring instrument of ritual, reflection, and the pursuit of communion with forces beyond sight. Long before the rise of cities, grains shaped the rhythm of human life, offering both nourishment and the potential for creation beyond survival. Barley, wheat, and emmer were more than staple foods. They were raw materials for experimentation, yielding sustenance and, through fermentation, spirited beverages. Early communities discovered that soaking and crushing grains in water could produce a malty, frothy liquid, while kneading and baking the same grains resulted in fragrant, leavened loaves. The smells of yeasted bread rising in the hearths mingled with the earthy, warm aroma of fermenting beer, establishing a sensory landscape that intertwined domestic labor with culinary ingenuity. In villages across Mesopotamia and Egypt, communal baking and brewing became central to daily life. Bread was not merely food, but a marker of skill, each loaf reflecting care, timing, and understanding of fermentation. Simultaneously, beer offered both calories and hydration, serving as a staple for workers and a social lubricant for gatherings. The shared knowledge of yeast's invisible activity allowed early humans to transform grains into multiple forms of sustenance, linking nourishment with craft. Brewing and baking were complementary endeavors, each informing the other in texture, taste, and technique. Archaeological evidence shows that specialized tools and spaces supported these activities. Clay ovens, grinding stones, and large ceramic vats reveal an early technological sophistication designed to regulate temperature, encourage fermentation, and preserve flavor. Village life revolved around these cycles as grain storage, bread baking, and beer brewing created predictable patterns that governed labor, celebration, and economy. Beer was carried to fields to fortify laborers, while bread fed families and guests, forming an intertwined system where grain sustained both body and community. The chemistry of yeast became central to this development. Naturally occurring microorganisms on grain surfaces, combined with moisture and warmth, converted starches into sugars and sugars into alcohol. For bread, the same activity produced carbon dioxide, leavening loaves and giving them lightness and structure. Early humans, through observation and repetition, developed techniques that harnessed these transformations, experimenting with timing, temperature, and mixtures of grains and water. What began as accidental fermentation became deliberate craftsmanship, reflecting the growing understanding of natural forces and their practical applications. Beer and bread also shaped social and economic structures. Beer often functioned as a form of currency in Mesopotamia, rationed to workers as part of wages and distributed during festivals. Bakeries and breweries became community hubs where knowledge and resources were shared and refined. The production of these staples influenced trade networks, as surplus grain could be converted into products that were portable, storable, and highly valued. Recipes and methods were passed down, refined with each generation, reinforcing social bonds and cultural identity. Culinary and ritual practices were closely connected. Bread and beer appeared in temple offerings, feasts, and ceremonial occasions, emphasizing their spiritual as well as practical significance. Sharing these items reinforced communal cohesion, linking daily life with larger cycles of harvest, celebration, and reverence. Each loaf, each mug of beer carried stories of labor, observation, and shared human experience, embodying both nourishment and narrative. In examining the intertwined evolution of bread and beer, one observes a profound human insight: the ability to convert raw materials into multiple forms of value, combining sustenance, pleasure, and social cohesion. The interplay of fermentation, culinary technique, and communal labor established patterns that extended far beyond the hearth, shaping early economies, rituals, and culture. From the simple act of crushing grains and mixing water to the careful tending of dough and brew, early humans cultivated not only food and drink, but knowledge, creativity, and community. Grains became the medium through which humans explored chemistry, skill, and collaboration. And through these intertwined creations, civilization began to take shape in forms both tangible and symbolic. Across the sun-drenched hills of the Mediterranean, vineyards stretched over terraced slopes, their orderly rows reflecting centuries of cultivation and care. Grapevines, nurtured through selective pruning and irrigation, became symbols of human ingenuity, where labor and observation converged to shape taste and quality. In ancient Greece, wine was more than a drink. It was a medium of discourse and philosophy. Symposiums gathered thinkers, poets, and statesmen around shared cups, their conversations flowing in tandem with the rich fermented liquid. Wine encouraged reflection, debate, and conviviality, linking thought with sensory experience in a ritual of taste and intellect. In the bustling marketplaces of Athens, amphorae lined shelves and stalls, each vessel bearing labels of origin, vintage, and quality. Trade connected vineyards to urban centers, allowing wine to circulate as commodity, gift, and symbol of status. Winemakers observed the subtle shifts in grape ripeness, climate, and soil, refining techniques to enhance flavor and stability. Fermentation, though invisible, was closely monitored through smell, taste, and appearance, and the Greek understanding of moderation became a cultural ideal, balancing indulgence with restraint. Through wine, humans cultivated both discernment and social cohesion. Rome inherited this legacy and elevated viticulture to a grand scale. Vineyards spread across hillsides in Italy, Gaul, and Hispania, producing vast quantities for both domestic use and export. Roman feasts, known for opulence, featured wine alongside lavish dishes, with careful attention to pairing, dilution, and ritual consumption. Amphorae were sealed and transported over land and sea, demonstrating early mastery of preservation and logistics. Wine was integral to civic and religious life, accompanying sacrifices, public games, and private gatherings, shaping identity through shared sensory experience. Its presence reinforced hierarchy, ceremony, and communal memory. Winemaking techniques evolved alongside societal ambitions, The pressing of grapes, fermentation in clay jars, and aging in sealed amphorae allowed subtle control of flavor and strength. Humans experimented with additives, herbs, resins, and honey, both to modify taste and preserve longevity. Knowledge of the natural world, observation of microbial activity, and careful timing guided each stage, reflecting a blend of craft, intuition, and empirical insight. Wine was a tangible expression of human creativity, its complexity mirroring the cultural and political sophistication of the civilizations that produced it. Beyond nutrition and social facilitation, wine was a marker of cultural identity. Greek myths and Roman legends frequently depicted gods, heroes, and mortals engaging with wine, celebrating its power to inspire, embolden, and connect. Art and literature immortalized rituals of pouring, toasting, and tasting, embedding wine in memory, myth, and philosophy. Festivals such as the Dionysia in Greece or Bacchanalia in Rome demonstrated the interweaving of spiritual, communal, and artistic dimensions, where fermented grapes became instruments of both pleasure and narrative. The economic and political significance of wine was equally profound. Land ownership, trade rights, and taxation often revolved around vineyards and their output. Elite families cultivated reputations through the quality of their production, while merchants established networks that connected distant territories. Wine influenced diplomacy, gift exchange, and the projection of power, functioning as both commodity and cultural artifact. Its circulation shaped not only taste, but the structure of societies, linking agriculture, commerce, and hierarchy. Through observation, experimentation, and devotion to craft, humans transformed grapes into a liquid that reflected civilization itself. Wine captured the interplay of land, climate, labor, and imagination, offering sustenance, enjoyment, and symbolism. It became a companion to discourse, celebration, and contemplation, binding individuals to community and culture. In tracing the legacy of Greek and Roman winemaking, one witnesses the profound ways alcohol shaped thought, society, and identity, illuminating a path from pastoral hillsides to urban sophistication, from cultivation to ritual, and from sensory pleasure to enduring cultural memory. Within the stone walls of medieval monasteries, the soft flicker of candlelight illuminated an unusual activity. Copper vessels hissed and steamed, while apprentices measured, stirred, and recorded. Monks were not only spiritual custodians, but careful observers of natural transformation, experimenting with fermented liquids to separate and concentrate their essence. Distillation, a technique inherited from Arabic alchemists and refined in European cloisters, allowed alcohol to be purified from water, creating a potent spirit that could be stored, medicated, and ceremonially offered. The stills, with their coils and condensing tubes, were marvels of ingenuity, reflecting both practical skill and curiosity about the invisible forces acting on matter. In dimly lit workshops, the aroma of heated wine, beer, and fermented fruits mingled with the scent of herbs, roots, and spices. Monks studied the effects of heat on liquid, noting that the rising vapor carried flavor and strength, while the condensed drops formed a substance of greater potency. These distilled spirits were versatile. They could preserve medicinal compounds, concentrate alcohol for ritual, or serve as tasting samples to gauge refinement and quality. Observation guided experimentation, revealing that small changes in heating, timing, or vessel shape influence the character of the resulting liquid. Through these acts, early humans deepened their understanding of chemical principles, long before formal laboratories existed. Distilled alcohol played a crucial role in medicine and ritual alike. Monastic physicians combined spirits with botanical extracts to create tinctures, syrups, and elixirs, using alcohol as both solvent and preservative. These remedies carried concentrated nutrients and therapeutic compounds, valued for their ability to ease pain, strengthen digestion, or treat infection. Distillation allowed the medicinal properties of plants to be captured more efficiently than previous infusions or fermentations. As knowledge expanded, alchemists began to theorize about the fundamental nature of substances, linking practical healing with philosophical inquiry, and establishing a lineage that would inform later chemistry. The craft of distillation also intersected with social and economic life. Potent spirits, carefully stored and transported, became prized commodities in towns and markets. Recipes, methods, and apparatuses were closely guarded, often passed through apprenticeships or recorded in coded manuscripts. The technology spread across Europe, reaching urban centers, trade hubs, and courtly kitchens. Alcohol's concentrated form enabled longer storage and easier transport than traditional beer or wine, connecting distant regions through commerce, while providing a reliable medium for both enjoyment and ritual. Monks and scholars were keenly aware of the interplay between observation and experimentation. They noted the clarity, aroma, and potency of distilled spirits, experimenting with repeated distillations to increase strength or with flavoring agents to create palatable concoctions. The copper alembics, vessels, and cooling tubes became instruments of precision, allowing humans to manipulate the transformation of liquids with foresight and skill. Through iterative practice, knowledge expanded from the mere act of fermentation to the nuanced control of chemical separation, laying the groundwork for systematic study and application in medicine, chemistry, and culinary art. Across Europe, distillation influenced cultural and spiritual life. Monasteries served as centers of learning, their work informing secular crafts and urban guilds. Spirits were incorporated into religious ceremonies, medicinal treatments, and daily consumption, blurring boundaries between sacred and practical use. The act of distilling became both metaphor and method, a reflection of human ingenuity and the desire to reveal hidden truths within matter. Alcohol, refined and concentrated, symbolized mastery over nature's subtle transformations, providing insight into both tangible and intellectual domains. In tracing the alchemy of medieval distillation, one witnesses the convergence of science, spirituality, and society. From copper stills to herbal elixirs, from monastic manuscripts to bustling markets, the era demonstrates how concentrated alcohol catalyzed discovery and innovation. Humans learned to manipulate liquid, extract essence, and harness potency, expanding the possibilities of fermentation into new realms of craft, healing, and culture. Distilled spirits became instruments of knowledge, pleasure, and connection, illuminating the intricate interplay of chemistry, observation, and human imagination that shaped the Middle Ages and beyond. In the shadowed aisles of early apothecaries, glass bottles reflected muted sunlight, each vial containing a golden, amber, or deep ruby liquid that promised relief, vitality, or preservation. Alcohol, concentrated or fermented, became a vessel for the medicinal wisdom of generations, a medium capable of carrying the essence of plants, roots, and minerals. European physicians and herbalists relied on spirits to extract active compounds, turning alcohol into tinctures, syrups, and infusions. The chemical property of alcohol as a solvent allowed delicate flavors and therapeutic elements to be preserved and delivered, creating remedies that could survive storage, transport, and the passing of time. Across continents, from the bustling markets of medieval Europe to the herbal gardens of China and the spice-laden apothecaries of the Middle East, fermented and distilled alcohol played a vital role in healthcare. In Asia, rice wine served as a carrier for medicinal herbs, blending warmth with potency, while in the Middle East, wines infused with myrrh, saffron, or honey were used to soothe digestion and alleviate discomfort. Knowledge of dosage, timing, and the pairing of plants with spirits was carefully transmitted through manuscripts, oral instruction, and observation, reflecting a deep understanding of both material and effect. Alcohol acted as a bridge between human ingenuity and the unseen qualities of natural substances. Apothecaries' cabinets were microcosms of experimentation. Bottles, each labeled with symbols or inscriptions, contained mixtures designed to address a wide range of ailments, digestive complaints, fevers, inflammation, and even mental distress. Alcohol preserved volatile compounds, ensuring that active ingredients remained potent for days, weeks, or months. Herbal extracts suspended in spirits were easier to administer than raw plants, and their strong taste often signaled effectiveness. By observing color, viscosity, and aroma, healers could assess both the quality of the alcohol and the efficacy of the infused remedies, combining sensory evaluation with empirical knowledge. In European monasteries, medicinal spirits were central to care. Monks cultivated herbs in gardens, carefully noting their growth cycles, ideal harvest times, and synergistic combinations. Fermented beer or wine could be fortified with herbs, creating tonics to strengthen digestion or combat disease. Distilled spirits concentrated these remedies further, producing potent elixirs capable of preserving health over long periods. These practices laid the foundation for early chemistry and pharmacology, as the repeated experimentation with alcohol and botanicals revealed principles of solubility, preservation, and interaction between compounds. Social and cultural attitudes reinforced the medical role of alcohol. In many communities, consuming a herbal spirit was both an act of self-care and a ritualized acknowledgement of knowledge passed down through generations. Apothecaries, herbalists, and physicians became custodians of both technique and tradition, linking health with observation, skill, and trust. Alcohol bridged geography and culture, transporting the medicinal properties of local flora to distant markets, temples, and households, connecting human bodies with plants and minerals in an intricate network of care. Alcohol's function as medicine also illuminated early scientific curiosity. The extraction of active compounds from plants required careful attention. The ratio of spirit to herb, the length of infusion, and the temperature of preparation all influenced efficacy. Healers noted that certain plants preserved in fermented liquids retained their beneficial effects, while others diminished if stored improperly. This awareness of subtle chemical interactions, born from observation and repetition, fostered the development of empirical knowledge that would inform later pharmacology and chemistry. From small village apothecaries to grand monastic infirmaries, spirits were a silent partner in human survival. They preserved wisdom, concentrated nature's bounty, and enabled practical care long before modern pharmaceuticals emerged. Alcohol provided consistency, potency, and versatility, serving as a conduit through which humans could harness, study, and apply the properties of the natural world. Through these medicinal applications, fermented and distilled beverages were recognized not only as nourishment or ritual, but as instruments of healing, experimentation, and cultural knowledge, leaving a lasting imprint on the trajectory of science and human ingenuity. Along the bustling quays of Venice, the clatter of barrels and the tang of fermenting liquids signaled the arrival of commodities that shaped wealth and influence. Wine, rum, and brandy were more than beverages. They were instruments of commerce, currency in negotiations, and markers of social status. Merchants measured, poured, and recorded quantities, balancing supply with demand as ships transported casks across rivers, seas, and continents. The trade of spirits created intricate networks connecting Europe, the Middle East, and the distant colonies of the Americas, turning alcohol into a medium of exchange and a catalyst for economic growth. Governments recognized the fiscal potential of spirits, levying taxes and duties that filled treasuries and funded infrastructure, military campaigns, and civic projects. In ports and marketplaces, officials assessed barrels for volume and quality, ensuring that trade contributed to the wealth of city-states and kingdoms alike. Taxation influenced production and pricing, encouraging innovation in storage, preservation, and transport. Entrepreneurs adapted by creating stronger, more concentrated spirits that could endure long voyages, ensuring both profit and usability. The economics of alcohol intertwined with governance, diplomacy, and social hierarchy, reflecting its significance beyond mere consumption. Colonial expansion expanded the influence of spirits further. European powers cultivated sugarcane, grapes, and grains in distant territories to meet rising demand at home. Rum became a cornerstone of Atlantic trade, linking plantations, shipping routes, and urban markets in Europe and the Americas. Wine and brandy crossed oceans, symbolizing both wealth and cultural identity, while also shaping settlement patterns and agricultural practices. The global movement of alcohol reinforced connections between distant societies, enabling cultural exchange and the spread of technological knowledge in brewing, winemaking, and distillation. Spirits also played a role in social and diplomatic life. In courts and trading halls, shared drinks facilitated agreements, celebrated alliances, and acknowledged status. A cask of wine or a barrel of rum could signify trust or cement partnerships, while the careful labeling and storage of these liquids reflected respect for quality and tradition. Communities relied on alcohol not only as sustenance, but as a medium of communication, bridging geographic, linguistic, and cultural divides through a shared understanding of taste, value, and ceremony. Storage and transportation of alcohol required ingenuity. Amphorae, barrels, and sealed casks protected liquids from spoilage, while merchants developed methods for tracking provenance, age, and flavor. The movement of spirits shaped economic decisions, influencing trade routes, taxation policies, and urban planning around ports and warehouses. Alcohol became entwined with infrastructure, governance, and commerce, linking production and consumption to the broader currents of human activity. Each bottle, barrel, or amphora carried with it a story of labor, skill, and negotiation, reflecting the interconnectedness of global societies. Through centuries of trade, taxation, and commercial strategy, spirits became more than consumables. They emerged as drivers of cultural and economic connectivity. They influenced labor, agriculture, finance, and diplomacy, shaping the structures of cities and empires alike. The global economy of alcohol demonstrates the subtle yet pervasive power of fermented and distilled liquids, whose movement across lands and seas connected humans in ways that extended beyond taste, reflecting ambition, ingenuity, and the enduring value placed on these transformative beverages. Candlelit taverns and gilded halls alike bore witness to the enduring presence of alcohol as a catalyst for creativity and communal expression. In ancient Rome, bacchanals celebrated both indulgence and storytelling, as wine flowed freely and participants engaged in theatrical performance, song, and poetry. The act of drinking became intertwined with narrative, providing a framework through which emotions, allegiances, and shared history could be expressed. Visual art, frescoes, and mosaics frequently depicted the offering or consumption of wine and beer, highlighting the symbolic significance of spirits in the tapestry of daily and ceremonial life. Across Renaissance Europe, painters and writers explored the nuances of human behavior through the motif of alcohol. Scenes of conviviality, reflection, and social interaction captured the complexities of identity, aspiration, and pleasure. Alcohol served as both subject and metaphor, illustrating abundance, excess, or moral contemplation. Music, too, was influenced by spirits. Tavern songs, dance tunes, and courtly compositions acknowledged the social and emotional resonance of shared drinks. Through these artistic expressions, the act of drinking was immortalized as an integral element of cultural memory and human experience. Regional rituals shaped the consumption and meaning of spirits. In parts of Northern Europe, communal toasting reinforced bonds within guilds, families, and villages, while in Mediterranean societies, wine accompanied religious festivals, marking the cycles of seasons and agricultural life. Customs dictated how beverages were poured, shared, and consumed, with each region reflecting local values, environmental conditions, and social hierarchies. The subtleties of ritual and etiquette emphasized alcohol as a medium through which communal identity and continuity were maintained, linking the present to past traditions. Alcohol also served as a mirror for societal observation. Writers and philosophers recorded its effects on behavior, morality, and social dynamics, noting how spirits could both inspire innovation and provoke excess. In salons, courts, and public spaces, drinking became an arena for dialogue and debate, connecting individuals through taste, conversation, and shared sensory experience. The interplay between intoxication, reflection, and social ritual revealed alcohol's capacity to influence perception and cultural development, offering insight into human cognition, creativity, and collective norms. Beyond formal gatherings, alcohol informed domestic life and personal storytelling. Recipes, family traditions, and home brewing practices preserved knowledge across generations, embedding spirits into the rhythms of daily life. Each bottle, pitcher, or mug reflected cumulative experimentation and taste, embodying both practical skill and aesthetic judgment. These domestic interactions reinforced social cohesion, allowing communities to negotiate hierarchy, celebrate milestones, and maintain cohesion through shared experience and tangible expression. The symbolic resonance of spirits extended into literature and philosophy, where alcohol often represented transformation, communion, and passage between ordinary and elevated states of awareness. Across cultures, stories depicted gods, heroes, and mortals engaging with wine or beer, illustrating moral lessons, divine favor, and the human condition. Alcohol became a lens through which societal values, imagination, and emotional expression could be explored, revealing its enduring influence on art, ritual, and identity. Through the centuries, fermented and distilled beverages shaped human culture in profound ways, linking creativity, ritual, and social cohesion. They became conduits of communication, vessels of memory, and instruments of artistic exploration. From ancient amphitheaters to Renaissance studios, alcohol served as both inspiration and medium, reflecting human experience and reinforcing communal identity. In this way, spirits reveal themselves not merely as consumables, but as active participants in the evolution of culture, ritual, and the arts. In contemporary laboratories, flasks and petri dishes reveal the intricate chemistry behind fermentation and distillation. Microbiologists observe yeast converting sugars into alcohol and carbon dioxide, tracing patterns that ancient brewers could only sense intuitively. Analytical instruments measure acidity, ethanol content, and flavor compounds with precision, allowing scientists to refine techniques for consistency, quality, and safety. Craft brewers and vintners apply this knowledge to achieve balance, creating beverages that honor tradition while embracing innovation. The scientific understanding of fermentation illuminates the invisible world that has fascinated humans for millennia, linking observation, experimentation, and artistry. Public health studies now contextualize alcohol's role in society. Patterns of consumption, tolerance, and effect are analyzed across populations, informing guidelines for responsible use. Researchers examine both beneficial and harmful outcomes, from cardiovascular support in moderate wine consumption to the risks associated with overindulgence. These insights guide policy, education, and community programs, emphasizing harm reduction and awareness. By understanding how alcohol interacts with human physiology and behavior, modern science continues to explore the intersection of chemistry, culture, and well-being. Industrial applications of alcohol extend beyond the table. Ethanol is employed in fuels, solvents, and antiseptics, demonstrating its versatility as a chemical agent. The same reactions that produce beer, wine, or spirits enable production of cleaning solutions, laboratory reagents, and even biofuels, connecting centuries of human innovation in fermentation to contemporary technology. This duality, alcohol as both consumable and functional substance, reflects the breadth of human ingenuity in harnessing natural transformations for diverse purposes. Craft movements have revitalized traditional practices, blending ancient knowledge with modern experimentation. Small-scale breweries, distilleries, and wineries explore heritage techniques, terroir, and varietal expression, preserving historical methods while embracing new technologies. The attention to microbial strains, fermentation kinetics, and sensory analysis bridges science with artistry, offering products that are simultaneously informed by history and optimized by modern understanding. Consumers engage with these beverages as both nourishment and narrative, tasting the legacy embedded in each sip. Observing spirits today also highlights the continuity of cultural connection. Tasting rooms, festivals, and educational programs trace historical origins, celebrating techniques from Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, and Rome. People encounter both the chemistry and the story behind beverages, linking contemporary appreciation to centuries of social, religious, and economic significance. Modern laboratories and artisanal spaces become arenas where science, tradition, and creativity converge, reinforcing the deep human engagement with alcohol across time. Through these intersections of biology, chemistry, and culture, alcohol's legacy remains evident. It serves as a bridge between human curiosity and practical application, offering insight into ancient techniques, contemporary health, and technological utility. Fermented and distilled liquids reflect centuries of experimentation, societal adaptation, and imaginative engagement, reminding us that the journey of spirits is entwined with the story of civilization itself. From early villages to modern laboratories, alcohol continues to illuminate the interplay between human ingenuity, observation, and the natural world, preserving a connection that spans generations. As our journey through the unfolding story of spirits comes to a close, allow yourself to sink even deeper into relaxation. Feel the gentle warmth of candlelight and the soft echoes of distant clinking glass wrapping you in calm. Let the history of fermentation, the slow evolution of wine, beer, and spirits, and the stories of rituals, trade, and medicine fade softly into the background, leaving your mind at ease. Feel your thoughts gently drifting, your muscles softening, and your breath flowing naturally and effortlessly. Rest here, fully supported in this safe and serene space. If you enjoyed this relaxing moment, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. But for now, let your body relax, release any tension, and allow your mind to drift. Good night and sleep well.